Parasha meditation, Parasha Teruma. So this parasha is about donating to the Mishkan gold, silver, and copper, and we're going to learn how these precious materials are very important, and each one has specific healing properties. And so we know that the whole entire Mishkan or temple was a spiritual healing structure. And when we had the temple and the Mishkan, we were plugged in with Hashem. Hashem's presence could fill our heart, as it says, Asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell within them. It didn't say I will dwell within it, because when we have our temple or tabernacle, we have Hashem inside of our heart. He will dwell within each and every one of us and also restore our prophetic spirit. So throughout our long winding exile, the Jewish people, we've had a lot of traumas as a people. We had so many traumas, collective traumas. So we need to heal these scars in our soul in order to clear our spiritual channels and be able to build that sanctuary within our own entire being. So these mediums of gold, silver, and copper, they correspond respectively to our behavioral, emotional, and intellectual health. They were there to heal our body, heart, and mind. And so when we could do today is to visualize these materials respectively in each of the body parts that they heal in order to engender physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. So it's interesting when it gives the command to build a sanctuary, it says, Vikru li truma, and let them take me as a truma, as a offering. Meaning when we give donation, we're actually receiving God. We take me as God, so to speak. Instead of saying, bring me an offering, it says, take me an offering. So whoever donates for the sake of Hashem actually gets to take Hashem, meaning receiving a closer connection with Hashem. So let them make a sanctuary that I dwell among them. It brings us closer to Hashem. We feel him inside each one of us. As we mentioned, not just God is dwelling within each of our heart. It is like the circuit, the tabernacle and the temple is like the circuit that channels the light of the world. So just like our entire being can enjoy the scent of spices, but it's only absorbed in a small part of our body. In the same way, God's presence is everywhere, but he communicates specifically through the mikdash, through the sanctuary, which is the circuit that channels the light of the world. So electricity may be available in an entire building, but we channel it into the circuit in order to produce light. We've got to plug it in. So the mikdash is that plug of the world for the Shekhinah. By realizing God's presence, we become the circuit that reveals divinity in the world. By directing ourselves to the Mishkan, we become the Mishkan. So it's all about making a Mishkan in our heart. Because when it says Asuli Mikdash, it has to be for all generations, even in a time when we don't have a temple. So in that time, it's about making the sanctuary in our heart And when God dwells in our heart, and so each of us can be a continuation of the verse that I may dwell amongst them. And this is all easy to say, but to actually do it, we really need to meditate. We really need to focus, opening ourselves to let Hashem in when we have fears that unconsciously close the energy field and doesn't allow Hashem's light into our body, heart, and soul. We have lived for thousands of years with three primal fears, and they derive from our collective unconscious, but they both collective and personal. Each of the exile in which the Jewish people have been traumatized have left a different kind of scar on our collective souls. So this is based on Rabbi Ginsburg. I believe it's in his book Body, Mind, and Soul. And so the three main materials that's used for the temple and for the tabernacle, they correspond to each of the three main exiles that we've been in. So we start with the gold. The material of gold is mainly used in the Holy of Holies. The ark was covered with gold, and the cherubs on the cover were made of pure gold. The gold has the trauma to heal. The gold has the power to heal the trauma of the Egyptian exile, which was in slavery, which is also similar to being raped because it's taking away our control. Person that's being enslaved has no control over his life, similarly to a woman that's being raped. So gold has the ability to heal us from the scar of the Egyptian exile and the contemporary fear of rape or fear of losing control. Then silver, which was mainly used in the tent of meeting, in the main part of the tabernacle. The sockets of the tent of meeting were made of silver. That's what this week's parasha was, Parashat Shkalim, that we read about giving half a shekel of silver for the sockets of the tabernacle. And so this silver channels the power to heal the middle part of the body, the heart area, because the gold healed the lower part of the body, the part that is where the fear of rape is. And the middle part where the heart is the fear of death. The heart is our most vital organ. And that is the fear of, also translates today into the fear of being overwhelmed. Like there's just, it's like I can't handle it. It's like I can't manage. I get that a lot. This overwhelm, which is like there's not enough of me. It's like there's a little bit like a fear of death, and that corresponds to the Babylonian exile. Not having enough life to deal with everything needed our attention. That's silver and then we move to copper. That's the courtyard. The sockets of the courtyards were made of copper. This copper channels the power to heal our upper part, the head, connected with with the fear of losing our mind, which is caused by the Roman exiles. Until today, we're still in that Roman exile, and there's never been as high a percentage of mentally illness as there is in our current time. And I believe the number is something like 1 out of every 5 person is or will be suffering some kind of mental illness, including depression, anxiety, or any kind of psychosis. Do you think that's about the right number?
Don't know.
Okay, well, I think I checked it out at not so long ago. And
Yes, in Canada. In Canada, they say that because of the pandemic, there will be 1 in 5 people would
Wow.
suffer from some kind of mental illness or disorder.
So that's exactly what I said. 1 out of 5. Yeah. I think it's not just in Canada, it's globally. And so this fear of losing our mind also translates in a smaller scale into the fear of not being good enough, which I think most everyone experiences at some point or another. And so the Mishkan was a spiritual healing structure. When it was erected, Hashem's light, shining through the mediums of gold, silver, and copper from each of the 3 parts, respectively, will enter into our being, dwell within us, and heal us. And now comes this day meditation. Sit.
Yes, it's 1 in 5. One
Yes.
in 5.
So I got it right. That's a lot. That's like a ton. Sit comfortably in your chair, close your eyes, take several deep breaths, and let go of anything you may be holding on to. Try to connect with the light of Hashem that always comes down from above. Visualize the light entering from your keter, your crown. Remember, our body is continually filled with Hashem's light and love, even when we don't feel it. Imagine Hashem's light in a shade of copper, surrounding and filling your head. Envision your entire head, neck, and throat glowing with a beautiful light of copper. Now this light is cascading down your shoulders, becoming pure and silvery as it fills your torso, chest, and lungs. Imagine it shimmering into your heart, exuding its silvery glow with every beat. Allow the light to emanate from your heart down to your stomach and then to your entire pelvis as it turns into gold. Breathe the golden light into your small intestines, your colon, ovaries, tubes, womb, and private place. Allow the golden light to enter your liver behind your ribcage on the right side and your spleen on the left. Cleanse your bean-shaped kidneys in the back of this shimmering golden light, in the back with this shimmering golden light. Let the light enter your thighs, knees, calves, and feet. Then imagine your entire lower self completely illuminated with golden light. Visualize how your entire being is exuding light outwardly. Your pelvis and lower part is shining gold. Your torso and middle part pure silver. Shimmering copper shines from your throat and upwards, including your entire head with your mouth, nose, eyes, and ears. A copper crown is adorning your head. Imagine now a golden triangle on your lower body. Its middle point where your legs meet and the triangle sides are two lines, one that goes to your right thigh and another to your left thigh. Imagine Hashem's light filling this golden triangle. Now envision another upside down triangle facing the first triangle to form the shade of a Magen David, the Star of David, the Star of David. Its middle point is below your belly button, with one line to your right thigh and another line to your left thigh. Breathe into this Magen David and imagine Hashem's light protecting you from any fears in your pelvis area. But just visualize a golden Magen David anywhere on your pelvis. Is that first exercise was too hard. Move your mind's eye to your heart region. Visualize your heart as the middle point of a new triangle made of silver with a line to both your right and left shoulders. Imagine Hashem's light filling this silver triangle. Now envision another upside down triangle facing the first triangle to form the shape of the Magen David. Its middle point is below the throat with a line to just below your right and left armpits. Breathe into this Magen David and imagine Hashem's light protecting you from any fears in your torso, or just visualize any silver Magen David in any place of your heart region. You can even imagine wearing a silver Magen David necklace. Now move your mind's eye to your head. Visualize the middle point of a new triangle of copper on top of your head in the center. It has a line to both your right and left temples. Imagine Hashem's light filling this copper triangle. Visualize another upside down triangle facing the first triangle to form the shape of a Magen David. Its middle point is above the throat with a line to your right and left temple. Or imagine any kind of copper Magen David on your head, face, or neck. Breathe into this Magen David and imagine Hashem's light protecting you from any fears in your mind. In the middle of this Magen David, envision Hashem's four-lettered name flashing in your mind's eye. Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, sending love and compassion. Now try to visualize all the three stars of David simultaneously flashing to the beat of your heart, and feel how your entire being is being illuminated by Hashem's life-giving protective light. Become now aware of the presence of the person at your right in this virtual room. Where does she need protection most? Imagine sending Hashem's light and love in the shape of a Magen David to her. Use your intuition to choose whether to send her gold, silver, or copper. Keep sending her Hashem's light exuding from your chosen star of David. Now focus your attention to the person at your left. Open yourself to receive the Magen David that she's sending to you. Allow it to enter the part of you that needs its protective glow the most. Keep receiving until you feel filled. Then take several deep breaths and release your arms and legs before opening your eyes. So these three primal fears, according to Rav Ginsburg, they are the ones that blocks us from being able to have again prophetic prophetic vision. The three parts of the Mishkan, the courtyard, the tent of meeting, and the holy of holy, respectively come each to heal one of those primal fears. The copper, the courtyard heals the head. That's the kind of metal that's connected to the mind. And you notice that it's connected to the animal snake. And we had a nachash nechoshet, the copper snake that the people had to look at in order to be healed. And it had to do with the visualization in a person's mind. And the snake is the animal that causes people to, God forbid, it plays mind games with us, and it's the snake that causes mental illness. And you move to the tent of meeting, which corresponds to the heart area, and silver. We also know that silver corresponds to chesed, which is giving, and the heart is given. And that corresponds, if I remember correctly, to the fox, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is all about, like, the silver is what gives us the ability to heal the heart. And then the gold is connected to the lowest part, the sexual part, that heals the fear of rape, fear of being controlled. Well, whoever has a lot of gold has a lot of control. This is the most precious. So I pray that we should be able to heal ourselves, all these three parts of our being, in order to be able to unblock ourselves and be able to receive and become a plug for the temple to be rebuilt, B'ezrat Hashem, soon in our days, so we can experience prophecy and be as we become pure channels for Hashem. Okay, so that was the meditation. The gold, if I remember correctly, it's the lion.